sunshine, moonlight, good times, boogie. Breaking news is that Caoimhín Kelleher is of interest to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, Liverpool have set a valuation in Caoimhín of £20 million, and I think that's a fair valuation. I've seen other people laugh at this and say that Caoimhín Kelleher is worth nowhere near £20 million, but he's 24 years of age. He's experienced, having been at Liverpool. He's an international goalkeeper. And if anybody wants him, I think to replace him, 20 million seems like a fair number. I hope he stays, but we've always understood, I think, as a fan base, and certainly Jurgen as a manager, that it's difficult for a backup goalkeeper. It's difficult to be a number two. And at 24 years of age, he's going to want to go and play. So whether it's Wolves or elsewhere, you know, it's going to be a tetchy last few weeks of this window to see what happens, because if we do lose Caoimhín, then that's another headache for Jurgen Klopp. He's got to bring in a backup goalkeeper. He's probably got to bring in two more midfielders and, again, a centre-back, and the clock is ticking. So let's wait and see what happens there. I think whatever happens with Caoimhín, we'll all give him a good send-off one way or the other if he does leave, and I totally get it. Same with any other player. I will never, ever criticise somebody who just wants to play football, and Caoimhín wants to play football. Now, a little bit of news on a potential revisiting of Liverpool to a transfer target. So Liverpool have apparently revisited the idea of Manu Kone. That's according to Code Offside anyway. They say that George Mack has made it clear that it's not going to happen for Liverpool and Mickey van de Ven. That deal is dead, but they are apparently re-looking at Manu Kone. The big problem here is, of course, nobody knows the extent of his injury yet, and nobody knows if he could pass a medical yet, and nobody knows if it's a just-in-case type deal again. So if we look at what's going on in our midfield, we've brought in two midfielders, and we'll probably need to bring in two more. Now, this was quite, I don't want to say it was a heated discussion in our Discord last night, but we got stuck into it last night, and it was good to see the difference of opinions in there. For me, I would like to see Liverpool bring in Lavia, 19 years of age, going to become a homegrown player, looks like a real top young lad according to all the reports I've read. But for the fourth midfielder, I think we need a bit of experience. Whether that's somebody who's 24, 25, 26, I'm not sure. But look at it this way. If we brought in another young midfielder, the future is going to be incredibly bright. It might take a bit of gelling. It might take a bit of getting used to at the start of the season. But if we brought in, I'm just going to call him AN Other for a minute. If we brought in McAllister, Szoboszlai, Lavia, and AN Other, who's, let's say, relatively young, on top of Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Stefan Bajcetic, Thiago Alcantara, you've got 8 midfielders there. And Thiago will either be replaced by Carvalho next season if he comes back from Leipzig, or maybe Liverpool reinvest in another player. So in the future, we've well refreshed the age of our midfield, and it looks quite healthy. But you can't lack the experience that we lack and go into a season and want to win it. I know there's the famous phrase that Hansen said, you can't win anything with kids, but a midfield of completely, well, almost completely made up of players who haven't really played together, that's potentially worrying. So I'm intrigued to see how Jurgen Klopp gets on over these next coming weeks. Now with Caicedo, what I can't understand is this. If Liverpool wanted to buy Caicedo, or were even contemplating it, why wouldn't we have looked at Rice? Now the answer I can think of, and the only one I can really explain to myself, is, well, we didn't know we might have the Fabinho money. We didn't know that we might have enough money to potentially go after Caicedo. And if that money for Fabinho and Henderson could be coming our way, maybe the club revisit. And when Declan Rice was available, Liverpool didn't have those opportunities. And of course, Arsenal had put in a lot of groundwork there. But Caicedo, if we can just dream for a moment, and it is a dream, right? Because 100 million and John W. Henry aren't two sentences we usually put together unless it's he's taken on investment of. But Caicedo would tick a lot of boxes. Obviously, he's played with Alexis McAllister. Obviously, he plays the DM role very well and can play in any of the midfield roles. But he also covers at right back, as we've seen with Brighton. So you could tick that box as well as potential cover for Trent. But I still don't want to let myself dream, because I still don't believe that Liverpool will potentially spend £100 million on one player. So I want to know how you guys feel about that. Now, with regards to the centre-back, it's all gone very, very quiet. As I said earlier on, George Mack has confirmed that Liverpool's interest in Mickey van de Ven is over. So then you're down to Inacio, Colwill, or a surprise package. And I truly don't know what way to go with this one. Another update as well with regards to the Premier League. And I hate that I'm about to say these words, but it is true. In 2025, the Premier League are going to change the ball from a Nike ball that we've used for 25 years to a Puma ball. Puma. Puma. I'm a bit disappointed in that. You know, Mitre was iconic in the day when we had it. The Nike ball has been good for the past 25 years or so, but Puma, it just bangs of Man City to me. And whenever I think of Puma, I just think of those really, really awful third kits that they put out for all of the clubs they did a couple of seasons ago. Man City, Dortmund, and every club had those horrible Puma third kits. So I wouldn't be holding my breath on expecting the Puma balls to be amazing. So let's wait and see what happens there. I read an interesting article actually earlier on FSG and John W. Henry and what they've been doing with some of their other clubs. So with the Boston Red Sox, they've built this 5,000 seater venue, or they're going to build a 5,000 seater venue, a music venue across or beside Fenway. And they're looking to do that with the Pittsburgh Penguins as well. They've partnered with the same company where they're going to build a similar project there. Wouldn't it be amazing if some point down the line there was a 5,000-seater arena built somewhere around Anfield for music? It'd be great if they revitalised the outside area like that as well. But again, you'd have these challenges because of, obviously, it's a residential area and stuff like that as well, infrastructure and things around that. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens there. But again, it was just interesting to see how they looked at the future of the clubs that they owned. And it doesn't give me any indication that they're looking to sell anytime soon, as much as they are willing to take on investment. Now, the big question I have for all of you guys who are watching is, how do you feel our manager feels right now? How do you think he feels right now? Do you think he feels a little bit sideswiped by the Henderson stuff? The Fabinho thing, I think we all knew was coming. Well, if I knew it was coming, and I told you guys it was coming, I believe they knew it was coming. So that offer coming in from Nuno was always going to arrive. But the Henderson one, I can only think that Jurgen Klopp is pulling his hair out with frustration, because he's already lost a lot of senior pros, and to potentially lose our captain. And my next question is, how do you feel about Gerrard and his role in all of this? Because he's taken some backroom staff, and now he's coming in trying to look at taking our captain. I can't help but feel it's a little bit shitty from Steven Gerrard. And I know that Melissa Reddy, when she was doing her piece on Sky, said that you can't ignore the influence of Steven Gerrard in this potential move for Jordan Henderson. Henderson idolises him, but it's not. It just doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't feel like it's a good move from Steven Gerrard, and I don't think he's endearing himself to Liverpool fans by doing these things. Yeah, I'm a bit frustrated by both of them, to be honest with you. But let's see how it all pans out. So that's pretty much where I'm at, but I need to know how you guys are feeling. So do let me know your thoughts on all these latest developments. I'd seen Luton's first Premier League home game as well. That's been moved. They've asked the Premier League to postpone that because Kenilworth Road won't be ready. So another thing to keep an eye on there. And I think that's pretty much it for this latest installment, or this latest recap of where we're at. So now it's over to you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section.